Hello, BookTube. I have a small morning mail haul to kick things off here that has just a few packages, but it ends with not just a box, but an enormous box. A box that's huge, a box that's heavy, and a box that sets off Steve's spider sense like crazy. So we'll start with the little packages, and then we'll have a dramatic pause, and then we'll read then we'll see what's in the box. And I'm just hoping that it's not some culinary tour of Tuscany that I just go, ooh. So first, let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, great. I think this is a debut novel yes, this is a debut novel for next year, for March. This is The Altruists by Andrew Ridker. That is the cover. It's got flowers on it, so it'll appeal to Adam Metamori. This debut novel follows the reunion of a family in crisis, as they are forced to confront the secrets and indignities of the past. The rights have been sold in 18 countries. This hilarious and brilliantly written novel has already received praise from writers like Nathan Hill and Atticus Lish. The death of family matriarch Francine disrupts the precarious bonds between her children and her husband Arthur, whose life has reached a breaking point. Unable to continue making payments on the mortgage of the family home, Arthur writes his millennial children, Ethan and Maggie, inviting them back to St. Louis, and deluding himself into thinking they might bail him out. Arthur's connection to his kids has always been strained, and his invitation unleashes a flurry of lifelong resentment, pain, and maybe a little pity, as both children are struggling to reckon with the loss of their mother, the disappointment of their father, and the unexpected inheritance Francine left behind for them. Okay, the pub sheet attributes to this a darkly funny tone. We shall see. We shall see. Andrew Ridker was born in 1991. He was born in 1991. He was born in 1991. I started this video in 1991. Oh, God help us. He's written everywhere. New York Times Magazine, Paris Review Daily, Boston Review. And he's the editor of a volume called Privacy Policy, the Anthology of Surveillance Poetics. And he's the recipient of the Iowa Arts Fellowship from the Iowa Writers Workshop. And this is his debut novel. Good for him. Good for him. I will get to it in the spring. I confess a tiny little tweak of disappointment. Reunions on the death of a relative as the impetus for a book is it's let's just say well-trod fictional ground. But it's up to any writer to do what they do with it. So let's move on here. Let's go to the next one. It's such well-trod ground that it feels like the book can't help but be predictable. Not that that's a deal killer for me. I don't mind if my fiction is predictable if it jumps off the page. We shall see. Oh goodness, I think this is another debut. It is. This is another debut. Okay. Okay, this is Rutting Season by Madeline Smith. It has another flower on the cover. Adam's going to be overjoyed. He loves flowers on covers of books. In this debut, Madeline Smith's collection gives new life to the short story renaissance, with 9 piercingly insightful and impeccably crafted stories about wayward New Englanders in extraordinary circumstances. So it's about Richards and Reeds. Much like the great Joy Williams, maybe there's a second Joy Williams that I don't know about. Smith is drawn to liminal spaces in her work where characters' lives are upended by unjust deaths, an aspirational office crime, an imminent high school graduation, a police stalemate, and more. Might be nice to declare a moratorium on words like liminal. They only exist in literature. They don't exist in life, and so they don't deserve to be a living part of the language. But I'm not precisely sure what liminal means in this or any other context. If you are, feel free to enlighten me, but don't use the word. Okay? If you don't use the word, don't use the word. Anyway, the stories drift all over New England, starting with Mercy, about a mother's struggle to stay afloat after the sudden death of her husband and the loss of her children's pets. In the titular story, Rutting Season, Smith takes readers into the minds of 3 diverging co-workers and demonstrates how even seemingly trivial actions can either devastate or heal a mundane office on the brink of calamity. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. See, this is the kind of thing that I like. It encourages me when an author does something like this. It sounds like what this author is going to do is sit herself down in relatively mundane circumstances and make them interesting. make them stand out. In other words, not a family matriarch with a mysterious inheritance who calls all of her family members together to see who will find the box in the back of the pantry. That sort of thing is, I'm sure it does happen once in a blue moon, but office politics, police standoffs, that I don't know. I'll read them both. You all know I love debut works. Absolutely love them. I love the clean page feel of it, the unguessability of the author. Having never found these authors before, will I be blown away? Will I get that jolt of electricity that comes when you read, when you open something with no predispositions and it just grabs you? I love that jolt of electricity. I read for that jolt of electricity, and getting it in a debut novel is extra thrilling because there's no momentum, there's no baggage at all, so anything could happen. So let's see here. Smith knows the human condition and gets to the truth of each story in ways that will stick with readers long after they part company. At 55, Madeline Smith's has come. Time, I think is supposed to be. Madeline Smith's time has come. She has been honing her unique and assured voice for decades. Her stories have appeared in Guernica, The Sun, New England Review, and the Massachusetts Review, and her work has been nominated for a Pushcart Prize. She lives in Lexington, Massachusetts, a beautiful town, with her husband, 2 daughters, and 2 dogs. Okay, all right, and did I mention this comes out in mid-February? Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to be well stocked with debut works for the new year, for debut fiction. That's fantastic. Wow, all right, good. So let's move on. We've got one more package to do, and then the huge box, where Steve might lose composure. In fact, Steve might, Sandman style, lose molecular cohesion. We shall see. It's a very big box. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. This comes out in early November. I've already read it. I loved it. You are going to love it. It is a fantastic job. This is Forever and a Day by Anthony Horowitz. This is a James Bond novel. And this squeezes itself in. No glance here at the young James Bond YA novels, but this squeezes itself in as probably the very first James Bond story. The cover, I don't know if you're making that up, the cover says it has original material by Ian Fleming. That is, of course, flagrantly untrue, but you have to do something like that. In pastiche fiction like this, you have to do something like this. You have to say, there was a box, there was a back compartment in the desk drawer, I was cleaning out the cupboard. You have to do something like that. As if the literary terrain of the creator of James Flippin' Bond has not been gone over with precise inch calipers. As if in 2018 you can still be finding, but one way or another, you can disregard. There is a healthy cottage industry of Bond pastiche fiction, and because you might be wondering, some of you might be thinking, if you're watching my 8 million videos, if you're aficionados of the sexy experience that is the Steve Donahue show, then you will remember the umbrage that I have taken with something like a Jeeves and Wooster pastiche piece of fiction. And some of you have asked, why is it that some pastiche fiction bothers you and others doesn't? Why is it that, for instance, you love and gobble up Sherlock Holmes pastiche fiction, but you don't like the idea of all these necro literary legacies where Robert Parker, Dick Francis, a bunch of other people, where their work is just continued by other people. Or the worst example, one of the worst examples, Brian Herbert, writing Dune novels, burying the real Dune novels under these secondary stuff. And I think I have 2 answers. One is going to sound snobby, but that's the risk we run on this channel. Apparently in 2018, you can be called a snob if you express an opinion and are certain of it. But I don't have to worry about expressing certain opinions, because those of you who've been with me from the beginning know that I am perfectly happy to change my mind. So what's the use of having an uncertain opinion? If as long as you're willing to change your mind, go ahead and be certain. I think there are 2 reasons for the variations in how I react to pastiche fiction. One is the literary quality of the original. If the original property, if we want to call it that, if we're going to talk Hollywood, is great, then I don't want there to be pastiche fiction. I don't want anything to water it down. that was definitely my feeling with Frank Herbert. But also, what you bring in Holmes, or what I wouldn't give to see a booming pastiche industry for John Carter of Mars. But in those cases, it's just time. In addition to the literary quality of the original, if the literary quality of the original isn't really there, if it's mainly just a plot gimmick that you're perpetuating, and you can see where I'm going with this, then I'm perfectly fine with that. And also, if enough time has passed, then I'm perfectly okay with that as well. I don't mind if somebody does, for instance, a pastiche on Charles Dickens, or I would absolutely love it if somebody did one on Anthony Trollope. Come on. I mean, my favorite Anthony Trollope novel is the last of the Palliser books, The Duke's Children. And I think what Trollope thought, which is that there's ample material here to write a sequel, another Palliser book, the sequel to The Duke's Children. I would love to read that. But so it's those two things. It's time, and also, you know, the literary quality of the original. Now, obviously, you're going to be able to guess here, since not a lot of time has passed since Ian Fleming was writing, that I am not a big fan of the literary quality of the James Bond novels. I don't think there is any. I don't think we're talking about that. I think we're talking about a plot-driven gimmick. Nothing wrong with that. That was a staple of the pulp world from which James Bond was born. So I don't mind James Bond pastiche novels, and some of them I have very much loved. Gardner's James Bond pastiche novels are better than the originals, of course. It doesn't take much to be. But then there's this. Some of them I haven't liked at all. I've read them all. As far as I know, I've read them all, and some of them have been just terrible. Just terrible. I had to review a couple of them. Were just terrible. But this is about... this is by Anthony Horowitz, who is a fantastic writer. I'm sure that this was done for money. I'm sure that he was handed a contract and told, you have a week or whatever. But he's the type of writer who his foremost priority is to entertain his readers. Doesn't matter how much time he has, doesn't matter how much money he's making, doesn't matter how much he does or doesn't believe in the project. Foremost goal is never to write boring prose, and he doesn't ever do that. And this is just terrific. Let me read you about it. The author delivers a fresh take on James Bond's illustrious career and the formation of his identity, with original material by crime fiction master Ian Fleming. Okay, sorry, had to chuckle just a bit. Okay, all right. Okay. This pub sheet seems to have been hastily put together. Ian Fleming's name is spelled wrong, and that sentence moves right on to say that the Irish Examiner called this a timeless Bond novel. But the Irish Examiner doesn't. Oh, anyway. It's a prequel to Casino Royale, the book that launched the iconic secret agent into the world, and it zeroes in on the earlier days of the operative, just before he became 007 and earned his license to kill. I want to see if we have a plot specific, because that doesn't tell you much. Have we got plot specifics here? The plot specifics are maybe not. Maybe they don't do it on the pub sheet here. Oh, come on. Well, parts of Forever and a Day are based on outlines Ian Fleming wrote for an American television series that was never made. From this raw material, Horowitz has fashioned a wholly original, if classic, Bond plot, replete with fresh action sequences, beautiful women, and a memorable villain worthy of Fleming's own singular imagination. Set in a venerable Bond locale, the French Riviera in all its glittering mid-century glamour, it offers a rich, cinematic, engrossing story that introduces many of 007's legendary traits and idiosyncrasies, including his signature martini, shaken, not stirred. But I wonder if we get... well, no, we don't. We don't really have a... The plot is just rip-snortingly good. The villain is maybe not so much, but the Dust Jacket copy says the sea keeps its secrets, but not this time. One body, 3 bullets. 007 floats in the water off Marseille, killed by an unknown hand. It's time for a new agent to step up. Time for a new weapon in the war against organized crime. It's time for James Bond to earn his license to kill. And we have seen the formation of all of these signature Bond tics and idiosyncrasies. We've seen all of those in many, many books, including the aforementioned young James Bond YA novels that hit as many of them as they can. But nevertheless, oh boy, never quite done so well as this book. If you are a Bond fan, even if you're not, even if you're just familiar with the movies, and you just want a really good action adventure novel with a locale that's really well conveyed, and that isn't long, I highly recommend Forever and a Day. I really do. It goes up in scale, the strength of the recommendation. If you just want an action thriller, you can't do much wrong with this. And if you're a Bond fan, you have to read it. Absolutely have to read it. And that is it. Those are the 3 books, and now we have the box. It's big and heavy. Now we have the box. What is in here that could possibly... I don't think this is only one book. I think this is maybe some huge art book, something like that. Okay. Somebody put it in a UPS envelope and then realized once it was in the envelope that they didn't trust it. They didn't trust it not to break right out of the envelope, so they put it in a box as well. The envelope also acts as padding, but the envelope is not coming along quietly, so here, let's gouge our way into it. Sorry about this. This is exactly the sort of thing that my fellow new release booktubers edit out. I am not able to edit it out. Yep, I was right. It's one book. Oh. Okay. Those of you who watch my videos with your TBR and Amazon wish list on all open and ready, incoming. This is the very definition of a holiday indulgence. It's an expensive book, but oh my god. This is National Geographic, The Splendor of Birds. That is an owl on the cover looking straight at you. Oh my. Of course, one thing you know for sure is that if it's National Geographic, you're just going to be blown away by the pictures. And this, oh my god. Oh my. All right. Okay. All right. Let's control ourselves. What is this? Oh, there's archival pictures too. Look at that. Oh. Well, okay. What is this? What have we actually got here? Actually, hold on so you can see it while I tell you about it. In the June 1913 issue of National Geographic, which, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar, I should point out is the greatest magazine in the world and the greatest magazine in the history of the world. Okay, just so we're clear on that. If you don't subscribe to National Geographic, fix that as soon as this video is over. Greatest magazine in the world, greatest magazine in the history of the world. In the June 1913 issue of National Geographic, renowned ornithologist Frank Chapman wrote, quote, "The places and people that make our world are ever-changing. The present slips from us with growing rapidity, but birds are ever with us." Nature lovers around the world have grown to love and appreciate the beautiful birds that inhabit our planet. With no border or boundary, our winged friends remind us of nature's true elegance. This fall, National Geographic Books is pleased to present readers with a visual celebration of these fascinating creatures. This will come out in late October, and it's $75. Oh my. So this is The Splendor of Birds. With The Splendor of Birds, National Geographic brings the planet's bird life into a new light and showcases treasured images from the past and present as we look to the future. This new book is the capstone of publication for the Year of the Bird, National Geographic's 2018 commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, one of the first and most successful federal conservation laws pushed through by the burgeoning National Geographic Society. Wow, 100 years ago. The Splendor of Birds displays as never before the irresistible beauty, grace, and intelligence of our feathered friends. Oh, every page you turn to, every time you open it random, you encounter something. Okay, all right, okay. Incredible. Oh, wow. Look at that. It's a picture from 1938. That is an ivory-billed woodpecker. One of the most famous extinct birds in the world. Look at that. Oh, man. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right, I'm gonna calm down just a bit here. All right, so the box was The Splendor of Birds. A gorgeous volume from National Geographic. Okay. All right, so The Splendor of Birds by National Geographic. Indulge yourself. Then Forever and a Day by Anthony Horowitz. Indulge yourself. And then for next year, 2 debut works. There's Rutting Season by Madeline Smith, a collection of short stories, and The Altruist by Andrew Ridker, a family drama novel. So that is our early in the day mail haul. It ranges all over the world, but nevertheless, Steve is pleased. So I'm going to wrap this up for now, but I will see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.